Steve, how are you, my friend?
Oh, good. How's it going, bro?
Well, I'm excited to do today's show. We're going to be talking today on today's show how to make enough money so that you too can afford to buy a $2,900 steering wheel, an auto wrap this week, as well as a $12,000 Rolex. We're going to talk about how to make enough money to buy a $12,000 Rolex and a $2,900 steering wheel and auto wrap this week. We're going to talk about how to make enough money to buy the needs. But before we do that, I want to do a special greeting for a listener out there. We have these great folks, Martin and Jeanette.
Hey, Martin and Jeanette, what up?
They're moving to America from Ireland to join up with their son and our client, Daniel Hines.
Nice.
Daniel Hines has an automotive repair business based in Los Angeles. And he just got the news that his mom and dad are moving from Ireland to the United States. And so I wanted to greet them by trying to do stereotypical Irish accents. And so we're gonna take a crack at it in just a moment. We're gonna say hello to Martin and Jeanette. So so get yourself prepared. And
you have to start it because I can kind of
let me cue up my music,
but...
and then Jason, get yourself ready because I'm gonna have Jason try, and Sean, you can try too. Here we go. Let me kind of get the. There we go. So it's hello, Martin and Jeanette. You're after me, Lucky Charms, but you won't get it. That wasn't very good. You try.
No.
Here you go.
I have to mimic. I can't. I don't know if I can do it.
Martin and Jeanette are coming to America to get our Lucky Charms. Why don't you try?
No, hold on. I got something. Give me like 30 seconds because I got something good.
Here, let me get you an audio tutorial on how to sound Irish. Let me do this here. And I'll cue it up. I just want to practice because this is super important. So let me cue it up here. This is... Okay. Here we go. I got it.
In an Irish accent,
here we go.
Is the I sound, the I that we get in like or height, and even at the beginning of the word Irish.
Get to it now, buddy.
It becomes like an oi, almost like the oi in oil.
Oil.
So that's why you sometimes hear people say Irish and
Irish.
Ireland.
Irish.
It's not quite oi, really. It's slightly less than that. It's oi.
Oi.
So that we have, I'll be fine with all this oil. There is a difference.
I'd be fine with Martin and Jeanette living here.
I'll be fine with all this oil. I'll be fine.
I got it.
That introduces another feature as well, the TH. I'll be fine with all this.
Hey, mate, let's put another shrimp on the barbie.
Are you thinking Australian?
No, that's from that Jim Carrey when that's a lovely accent you have. And what is that? New Jersey? And she goes, no, Austria. And he goes, oh, well, good day, mate. Let's put another shrimp on the barbie.
Sean, I'm going to let you take a crack. Here we go.
What do you think of this? What do you think?
What do you think of this?
Try it there. What do you think of this?
Martin and what's their name?
Oh, this is good. That's good. Martin and Jeanette.
Martin and Jeanette. Welcome to America.
Oh, that's nice.
Put another shrimp on the barbie.
Because that's what. Oh, that was good. All right, Jason. Come on in here.
Come on, Jason.
Now, first off, thank them for coming to America. In your communist accent that you do so well. I don't know why you're so good at the mother.
It's been some weeks since I practiced.
Let me cue up the Mother Russia music here. Let me get this is the
this will get Mike in the mood here.
National anthem. He seriously, once he gets into a flow, it's almost unethical how good it is. There we go. It's just let me kind of cue it up. And I'd like you to welcome, if you can, Martin and Jeanette to America.
All right. My dearest brothers and sisters, Martin and Jeanette. Welcome to the motherland, also known as the Great United States of America.
That's incredible right there. That's incredible. Now, real quick.
He sounded more Russian than Irish.
Although Barack Obama is thankfully no longer our president, I do want to cue up the, let's do Hail to the Chief, okay? And then you can do, you can sound like Obama as you welcome these people to America. Let me cue it up here. This is the president. And in America, this is like the president's theme song. And we're going to welcome Martin and Jeanette to America from Ireland. Here we go. Go for it.
Martin and Jeanette, we, on behalf of the American people, would like to welcome you to the great state of California,
United States.
I assume.
And why don't you promise them a lot of hope and change?
Oh, hope and change. Yes. Here we go. Come on, Jason. I mean, Obama.
Be prepared for the massive amounts of hope and change that you can hope for, but things probably will not change.
Tell them they're great people, like Barack Obama. Just like the word people, the way he says people is incredible. Try that.
You are great people.
Oh, it's so good.
Oh,
gotta make the
Mr.
peas
Obama.
Okay, and now without any
make
further
the
ado,
peas
let's
pop.
start this show.
Oh, yeah, here we go.
Some shows don't need a celebrity narrator to introduce the show, but this show does. 2 men, 8 kids, co-created by 2 different women, 13 multi-million-dollar businesses. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Thrive Time Show.
3, 2, 1, here we go!
Started from the bottom, now we here. Started from the bottom, and we'll show you how to get here. Started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom, now we here.
Yes, 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 and yes! We are in the air everywhere. Thrive Nation, welcome to the conversation. Steve Currington, I'm so excited that we had an opportunity to welcome Martin and Jeanette from Ireland into the land of opportunity and the world of materialistic purchases where you can earn all the money you want to make to buy the things you don't need.
Yeah.
Now, Steve, this week,
Let's put another shrimp on the barbie.
you have invested, I'm calling it an investment, you have invested $2,900 into your steering wheel.
Well, I mean, the auto wrap and the steering, yeah.
How much was the steering wheel?
Well, actually, let's back up. The wrap really probably cost me about $4,000.
And how much was the steering wheel?
$2,600. I was kind of being a little facetious. I don't want to tell people like this.
You invested $6,600 this week in a steering wheel.
White Glove Auto. Thank you very much, Myron, over there.
And a steering wheel for
WhiteGloveAuto.Tulsa.com.
your Lamborghini.
Yep.
Now, on Maslow's hierarchy of needs, you start off with you need food.
No, my other steering wheel
need
was like
shelter.
worn out. I mean, the leather was all rough.
Listen. We are starting a foundation, okay? Because for years, Bill Gates has been running around donating money to himself.
Yeah.
To improve his image.
That's what I'm doing.
So we're doing on the show, we're going to start a foundation here. Except we're going to be honest about our foundation. Our foundation is being started right now to make you look good. So
that's going to be tough. You better get a lot of donations.
Sean, are you aware of are you aware of the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation?
Oh, yeah, I know about them.
He spent the last 20 years donating money to himself to make himself look good. And Steve, we want to spend the next 20 minutes making you look good while teaching people how to make a lot of money. Does that sound fair?
Yeah.
Okay,
Sure.
so
It'll take
first
a lot longer
off,
than 20 minutes to make me look good.
So first off, we have to have a cause people believe in.
Yes.
Okay, we have to have a cause.
Got to get people behind the cause.
The cause is this. You too, folks, think about this. There's people all over the world today who are struggling because they can't afford to buy a $2,900 steering wheel and a $12,000 Rolex. Again, how much did you spend this week, Steve, on this? It was how much was the steering wheel?
$2,600.
Yeah, a lot of people can't afford a $2,600 steering wheel. And think about think about the sadness.
It's got carbon fiber and it was custom. I like a little green,
Folks, listen.
Steve, I sold my car for $4,200 yesterday. You bought a wrap for $4,000.
I bought my Volvo for $6,100. I'm just going to say this. There's somebody out there right now who you feel bad Steve, you can't afford an unlimited number of steering wheels. And if you want to stop, I mean, think about the pain and sadness that, Steve, you go through every day knowing you can't buy an unlimited number of steering wheels for $2,600. There's a limited supply. And the new Rolex you're buying for $12,000, you can't just buy an unlimited number of those things. So the only way that you
I only have 2 arms. So
the only way that you can support Steve Currington right now is by going, Steve, what's your website?
It's stevecurrington.com.
You go to stevecurrington.com and you fill out the form. And what you want to do is you want to get your mortgage through Steve Currington. Yep. Because when you get a mortgage from Steve Currington, he's going to make how many basis points?
It's just like GoFundMe, but for rich people.
So if I get a $300,
I don't really need the money.
Folks, listen. If you're out there today, and you
GoFundMe.
Steve, listen. I'm trying to create the emotional Bill and Melinda Gates kind of mood here. I'm saying, if you're out there today and you need a mortgage.
Yep. Especially if you're in a market that needs a jumbo. Oh man, we're good at jumbo.
So if you need a mortgage right now, for every $100,000 you borrow, Steve's going to get about $1,000 of those dollars, and
Yep.
$1,000 per 100,000. So if you do a $300,000 loan, Steve's only going to get about $3,000.
I have to do $1 million in loans, and I still can't buy that.
How many
Rolex.
mortgages did you do last week, Steve? It's so sad. How many mortgages did you do last week?
I mean, I try to focus on closing 2 a day.
How many did you do last week? Answer the question, Steve. We're trying to help you raise money here.
I always hit my goals.
Steve, how many mortgages did you do last
I
week?
think we did 12. No, we did 11.
Steve
Monday
only
through Friday,
did
if you just
11
count Monday
mortgages
through
last
Friday.
week, so he probably only made $25,000 last week, and that's
Way more than that.
Steve probably only made $40,000 last week, and the only way that you can
Well,
help him
but
by
most of that goes to my foundation
right, the Steve Currington Foundation for the betterment
of
Steve.
steering wheels.
And you too should commit your dollars.
So if you're finding
For just $13.99
somebody-
a month,
somebody feels a tug at their heart right now
you can help a rich guy buy a new steering wheel.
because he can't buy an unlimited number of steering wheels. No, Steve,
For your donation,
For your
I won't
donation.
do anything
Now listen,
special.
Now listen, I want to get Jason on here, and then I'm gonna have Sean on here. Jason, if you were to borrow $260,000 this week to buy a home, Steve could then go out and buy a $2,600 steering wheel for his Lamborghini.
True.
Sounds like a nice trade-off.
Before taxes.
Can you get behind this cause?
Oh, absolutely.
Now Steve's going to buy
What
a
you wanna
$12,000
do-
Rolex, so you're going to need to get a $1.2 million loan by going to stevecurrington.com. Are you willing to get behind the cause there, Jason?
I'm willing to get behind the cause. The question is, can he fund me? Can he
That
get
is
me
the-
approved?
Oh,
Oh,
here we go.
folks, if you're out there from coast to coast and you need a mortgage,
SteveCurrington.com.
stevecurrington.com. It's a thing where he needs you
Stop what you're doing
right now.
right now
Help him.
and go to
Help
SteveCurrington.com
yourself.
and
It feels
sign
better.
up to donate.
It feels
To the-
better to give than to receive. But seriously, on today's show, we're going to talk about how to make enough money to be able to afford to buy the crap you want. That's what it is, okay? So, Jason, let's talk about this for a second. Young Andrew out here, Andrew Bloomer, he's 22.
Young Andrew's actually his rap name. He just goes by Andrew in the office.
True that. So you just saw Andrew 4 weeks ago open up a PMH, Perfect My Home, location in McKinney, Texas.
True. And then just 1 week before then, I also watched him buy a $68,000 Mustang.
And he's 22.
No way. That would be like 6 Mustangs.
And
Come on. Hold on a minute.
Are you-
Th-
is
now
it a
wait
car
a minute.
joke?
Does
Is it a
this
car joke? Are you
no?
ripping
Does
on
this
cars?
Mustang have like a really high kill record? Is that the reason why? Does it have like a? Because Mustangs are they call them like they're crowd surfers.
I know nothing about it other than that it's
Just
a Shelby
Google
GT350.
Mustang crowd surfer, and then you'll know what I'm talking about.
so,
Listeners.
but again, you've seen Andrew go out there
Yeah.
and open up his own business.
True.
He and I are partnering on it, and you've seen him get leads.
Yep.
I love Mustangs.
Now, I want to talk about this for a second, though. So, step one, everybody has to establish. You have to establish a goal
True.
and determine how much it costs. Mm-hmm. So, I would like to go through this conversation with you, Jason. What's something in like the midterm that you want to buy?
Ooh. Well, I guess it's always been a house. I just want to have my own space that's not connected to other people.
Okay, so let's go house shopping. Where would you get a house?
I'm not quite ready to retire to Broken Arrow, so somewhere I'd say South Tulsa. I want to get out of Midtown.
South Tulsa.
Good idea.
Okay, so you're in South Tulsa, and Steve, if we were to go get if we were to go purchase a house, we have to first get a mortgage.
Correct.
So
Unless
the
you're
first
gonna pay
step,
cash.
the first step is we would have to get pre-qualified. We'd go to stevecurrington.com. We'd fill out the form, et cetera, et cetera. But at the end of the day, if say Jason were to borrow $300,000 today, what would
Yep.
his payment be per month?
If he did an FHA loan and he put
30-year mortgage.
the minimum down, which would be like 3.5%,
Yep.
and even if he got a rate of like, 3.5%, which is probably pretty conservative right now. And if you bought an existing home that had a little bit more expensive insurance instead of a new construction home from Shaw Homes,
Yeah.
and then you bought in like Jinx or Bixby,
$300,000 home. You go to
Then-
stevecurrington.com to apply.
then that would be I'm just doing this math in my head as I'm talking here, so it'd be $2,002.80
per month.
per month.
So now you'd have to figure out how much crap do you have to sell
Right.
in order to achieve that goal. Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of times people that come from poverty or they come from a place where they don't have wealth, they don't think that way at all.
No, they see the $2,000 a month. They're like, I'll never be able to afford
And
that.
I certainly thought that way as well. So I wanted to. So we're just going to go down this avenue. I was. Hey, Vanessa, how old were we? Is she here? No. Okay.
Did you say that it was a $300,000 home or a $300,000?
$300,000 home.
Because is that Irish?
300,000.
300,000.
Big shout out one more time here to Martin and Jeanette. Welcome to America.
Yes.
They don't
I
have
finally
so many
got
lucky
one.
Charms.
Oh my
but I want to
God.
make sure
Put
we get
another
this
shrimp on
idea.
the barbie.
So you have to establish a goal and determine how much the goal costs. Period. Now you got to figure out how much crap do you have to sell to buy the stuff.
Yep.
To
That
buy the
easy.
stuff.
Hey,
So-
I always tell people this: you just go buy it, and you can figure out how to pay for it later. I mean,
Thrive Nation.
You don't even have to.
I'm gonna
come
do.
on, just
Thrive Nation.
you'll
I'm
figure it out.
gonna rebuke our guest.
You'll figure it out. Just
But listen,
go do it.
but listen though, you
Use
have to have.
credit.
So when I was 22, how old are you now, Jason?
I'm 27.
27. So when I was 22, my wife and I are building our first house.
I love rich people.
And
That's so
everybody in the neighborhood said, "Hey, what do your parents do? What do your parents do?" But I had just had the thought at the age of like 16, maybe 17, what do I want to do and what am I willing to give up for it to get there? But we've got to establish a goal. But now once we establish a goal, step one.
Yep.
Step two, we got to figure out how much crap do you have to sell to buy the stuff. But three, and this is big, we got to put a timeline on it because a dream without a deadline is just random hope and it won't happen.
Yep.
You got to have a goal. A goal is a dream with a deadline.
You right.
So you must. So let's talk about this though. So when do you want to have a house by?
I would like to have one before I'm 30.
Okay.
Oh, how old are you now?
27.
Ooh, yeah, you got plenty of time for that.
So let's get real though for a second. So you got to establish.
I think
Again,
we're going to sell Jason a house today.
well, I just want to make sure we're getting this. So how much money does he need down if he wants to buy a $300,000 house?
He'd need about 10,000, 11 grand.
Total.
3.5%.
Okay.
So,
So,
it'd be-
and I'm not asking Jason your personal financial questions on the show. I'm just teeing this up.
Yeah.
So you'd have to figure out in your mind, okay, when am I going to do that?
Right.
Now I'm going to tell you some stuff that I did for a young guy. He was younger than you. He said the same thing to me. He says, I want to buy a house. I said, okay, cool. And it would be about that much down. And I said, why don't you get a big house, nice house, and you have a rule that the downstairs or upstairs is yours. No one can go there but you. Mm-hmm. And then you rent out the other part. And he did that, and that conversation happened. I'm now 39. That conversation happened a little longer than 15 years ago.
Yeah.
And that house is paid for, and he's essentially never put much money into it.
Wow.
So, I mean, there's ways to do these things, but we've got to think. Now, at $300,000, I don't want to put my goals on you. Mm-hmm. You know? So, Steve, let's go to Bixby for a second. Okay, Bixby. What's the best website to look for new homes in your mind, Steve?
I think it would be TulsaHomeListings.com.
Seriously? TulsaHomeListings.com?
Yeah, that's my website.
What's the best website that people use to find homes?
That would be it.
TulsaHomeListings.com?
Yeah, that has everything.
But what's one if I'm not like in Tulsa? Because most of our listeners are not in Tulsa.
Oh, okay. Just go to, I don't know. God, I hate to say. I don't know,
Is Zillow okay?
Realtor.com. Yeah, Zillow's okay.
Okay.
Everybody hates Zillow. Hey, Zillow, in case you're listening, you guys are jerks. I hope you go out of business.
So Realtor.com, okay, and then we go up there and we search for a home in Bixby, right? And Jason, do you want a house with land, or do you want it to where you don't want land? Do you want land?
Not yet. I just kind of want a house with a decent front yard, backyard.
Okay, so let me look at this one here. I'm pulling this up. This is why is this home not pulling up here? Okay.
There you go. 198,000.
I mean, there's some nice houses here, you know?
Oh, that's beautiful.
So in your mind,
oh, that's in
when
Midtown. He wants to be out of Midtown. Bro.
When do you determine in your mind that it's time to buy a house? Like what is the limiting factor in your mind that says, you know, now's the time to buy, Jason? Like, what does that look like?
Yeah, I mean, I would want to be financially secure enough to go in with the down payment without having to secure another loan to have more debt. So then that way I could just focus on the mortgage. So within the next year, having enough for a, over $190,000 house, put the down payment on that, and then just get everything started.
So the down payment amount is a big thing in your mind.
Mm-hmm.
But then after that, I'm just saying there's some great houses here for sale in Bixby right now.
There's one right there, 2,024 square feet for $229,000.
Yeah, look at these houses. Jason, come on, look at this. This is some good stuff here. I mean, this is some hot stuff.
If
right
you
here.
bought that one, you'd have to put another shrimp on the Barbie. Okay, sorry. I'll stop.
But again,
I'm just
and Jason, you're doing the fitness thing right now, right? I am. So tell us about your fitness journey. What are you doing with this whole fitness thing?
Oh man, so I've got a weekly accountability coach. So I have to send him a photo of everything I eat. So I have 3 meals a day, and then I can put snacks in there. I don't, but each meal has to be specifically, X amount of protein, healthy starches, and then vegetables, or half protein, half vegetable. But anyway, I have to send him a photo. That way he knows every time I eat something, I'm staying on track. And then Friday, we go through any of the times where I may have faltered, and then he'll give me more like nutrition info, like what supplements to take. But 3 times a week, I have mind you, they're out of state. So when I work out, I actually have to do a Zoom call or a FaceTime call with my trainer.
Yep.
And he watches and counts my reps to make sure I'm actually in the gym doing what I'm supposed to.
Jeez.
So let's talk about this.
No thanks.
You've talked to your trainer, and you've established a goal.
Yep.
And I'm not going to ask you on the show what your goal is, but you have established a goal.
Well, I told him if I don't look like The Rock in 3 months, I want my money back. And he goes, dude, I can do that in 2 months.
Have you already lost some weight or something?
I have, and I've also noticed some more definition. So I'm going to have to start buying new suit jackets.
So make sure we get this, though. You have established a goal.
Mm-hmm.
You have said to the universe, you've said to this man, I want to get in this shape.
Yep.
You hired a coach, a strength coach.
Yeah.
What's the guy's name, or what's the company?
So it's Built Phoenix Strong. So the founder,
Built Phoenix Strong.
Placid Ajoku II, coolest name ever.
Built
He
Phoenix
is
Strong.
my
What's his
accountability
name?
coach. Placid Ajoku II.
And Built Phoenix Strong is you're doing this, it's like over Skype.
Like Placid?
So he's not coming to your office or coming to your gym with you to work out. He's
Nope, but
remote.
he holds me accountable. He calls me every Friday.
Is this a Joku, or are you telling the truth?
I get it.
How much weight have you actually lost so far?
As of right now, I've lost about 8 pounds.
Okay,
But,
and how long?
I've only been doing it for a week and a half.
I want to make sure we're getting this idea. Somebody needs to wake up. Wake up. Get serious, okay? Think about this. If you want to lose weight and you are serious about it, Jason just told you how. The website again is what?
It's builtphoenixstrong.com.
Okay, two. If you want to get a home, Steve just told you how.
True story.
But we have the same 4 steps for anything you want to do, period. Step 1, establish a goal and figure out how much it costs.
Yep.
What does this trainer cost you?
So the way they do it is by session. So it's $45 a session, and I meet with them 3 times a week. So it's about $400 a month.
Okay, Steve, the new Rolex you're going to buy, it's $12,000, correct?
Yep.
And so you need to do about $1.2 million of mortgages to pay for that?
Yep.
So it's like 3 or 4 mortgages and you get your watch.
Yeah.
Why do you want that watch?
I don't know.
What if I say I don't think you
Looks
should have
cool.
that? What if I say, though, I don't think you should have that watch? It doesn't matter what I say.
Yeah, I'd just tell you to hey Clay, that's awesome, thank you, and then I would.
No, but there's
Because
somebody.
like used to be, I would tell you to like F off or something, but now I've learned,
Yeah.
just like, oh yeah, great, thanks for the input. And
But
then I
there's
just go buy
somebody
what I want.
out there right now who says, I want to lose weight, I want to get in shape, and then your friend, your roommate, your neighbor, your spouse, somebody's saying, that's a waste of time. You see,
I've already had somebody tell me, why would you spend $400 a month on that?
there you go, but you value that.
Yep.
Now, somebody would say, why are you buying a Rolex for $12,000? And the thing is, it doesn't matter why. I'm just asking you, the listener, what do you want and how much does it cost? That's step 1. Now, step 2, get serious. How much crap do you have to sell to buy the stuff?
Yep.
At the end of the day, Jason is in a job where essentially you can make $100,000 a year plus bonuses, depending upon how full you are with your schedule. You know how to do that. You know what Andrew does. You know what you can do. You know that. And then we got to figure out how much stuff am I willing to sell.
Yeah, I actually took a look at it, and I realized with my current client load and how we're kind of booked out right now, it would have been a pipe dream. And then I realized, there are also commission deals I could do. So I figured out how many commission deals it would take to pay for a trainer, and I did it.
Now, I'm going to give you a pro tip for the house. I'm giving it to you. You can reject it. It's fine.
Yeah.
I would encourage you to go look at these houses for 6 months, but don't buy them.
Yeah.
Just because when you look at them and you go see them and you go to the gym if you're wanting to get in shape, just when you are around it, whether it be through osmosis, whether it be through visualization, whether it be through accountability, whether it be through whatever that is, you're going to be drawn to it, but you got to get in the water.
Right.
You got to start swimming in the world you want to live in. It has to have you have to start swimming in the world you want to live in. Steve, you hang around successful people.
Yep.
Why?
Because I don't know. I like to hang around people that are above the level that I'm at. That's why I hang out with you. One of the reasons. Plus, I like you. And then I think that you're the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time
Amen.
with. So if you want to spend a bunch of time with a bunch of nice people that are not successful, but they're nice people, they're not bad. You probably get along with them, and they're nice.
There it is.
I kind of look at it like this. If I feel like I'm the smartest guy or the most successful guy in the room, I need a new room to be in.
An example,
which is why I'm going to leave right now.
We
Thanks.
had Pastor Bill Scheer. We had Pastor Bill Scheer on the show yesterday.
Yep.
And his commitment to church is kind of like my commitment to business. He said, I do not miss Sundays. You heard him say that.
Yep.
And he doesn't. He shows up every Sunday. If it's snowing, if it's raining, whatever, he's committed.
True.
I'm that way with work. If you're around me, if you're in my circle, Steve, have you ever seen Dr. Z when he's sick? Have you ever seen what he does? He'll go, do you have any Dayquil? That's what he says. And so I know if he's sick, I don't care what the virus is, he'll say, can I get some Dayquil? You get any Dayquil? But he won't miss.
Yeah.
Because none of us miss. You don't take sick days.
Right.
I don't take sick days. I don't either. But you got to be around the people. You got to be around the people that are headed in the same direction.
Right.
Now, step 3, you have to establish a deadline for the achievement of the goal. So you said you've lost 8 pounds in how many weeks?
A week and a half.
Week and a half. Now, Steve, again, if I'm going to buy a $300,000 home by going to stevecurrington.com and getting pre-qualified for a mortgage, how much money do I realistically have to have down before it even makes sense to call you?
If you're a first-time buyer, I would say 3% to 3.5% of whatever the purchase price is that you're after. So on $200,000, if you want to live in South Tulsa, like we were talking about, that would be $7,000 that you need to probably count on, $6,000 to $7,000 in down payment. If you build a Shaw home, this is honestly what a lot of people do, is they will go to Shaw, and if you're buying in their Manchester series, they only require a $2,500 deposit for them to start building.
Wow.
You pick out your floor plan, they start building. It takes them 5-6 months to build, and then we have people will just start socking away money. They kind of have that goal because they know that house is going to be done.
Yeah.
And they need to have their money by the time the house is done. They've already got $2,500 in, so they need maybe another $5,000, and then they're good. So that's one thing that people do, because when you're building, it gives you a little bit of time to do that.
But again, we have to, step 1, establish a goal and determine how much the goal costs. 2, we have to establish the number in our minds of how much crap do we have to sell to buy the stuff we want. Mm-hmm. Step 3, we got to establish a deadline for the achievement of the goal. And step 4, we have to stop working hard in the wrong direction. So, Steve, there's some beautiful houses here for sale.
Yep.
And these houses, there's one house right here. It's $1.2 million. Beautiful pool. It's great.
I wouldn't recommend that one because Shaw. I don't think Shaw built that.
That's nice. That's very fair. Very, very, very fair and objective. But I'm saying is that if Jason says, "Hey, I want to buy a house in Bixby or South Tulsa," and he calls me and I'm a realtor, and I keep showing you houses that are in downtown Tulsa, clearly we're not going the same direction.
Right.
And somebody out there listening right now, you are in a profession that's going the wrong direction. No matter how hard you work, you can't get to where you want to go because you're watching the wrong show. You're in the wrong seats. You're in the wrong bus going the wrong direction. You got the wrong job. And what's so cool is you can help clients turn their business around real quick. Mm-hmm. Jason, you do a great job of that. You do a fine job with that. But you brag on one of your clients right now that has made the biggest improvements this year, the one who's maybe had the fastest growth.
Man, I have to say, it's a toss-up.
Many of them, yeah.
There's Stephen Hall with Mod Scenes. He does stage design in Oklahoma City. He did $719,000 the entire year of 2019.
Amen.
And from January through the end of June of 2020, he has closed over $820,000.
There it is.
And then we have Jason Lett with Lake Martin Mini Mall. He actually didn't think that he was going to be big enough for the program. He didn't think that the tools that we gave him were going to work for his little rural area. Homeboy did $34,000 of profit last week.
Folks, I'm telling you, if you're out
Good
there,
Lord.
if you're listening to this show right now, you can turn your dreams into reality, but you got to implement these 4 steps, okay? So again, establish a goal, determine how much it costs. 2, how much crap do you have to determine how much crap you have to sell to buy the stuff.
Yep.
3, establish a deadline for the achievement of the goal.
Yep.
And 4, stop working hard in the wrong direction. Stop going in the wrong direction. And I want to get Aaron Antis on the show here. And Jason, thank you for joining us, man. I appreciate it very much.
Absolutely.
So Aaron Antis, you guys, I understand you, Steve, you and Aaron will be neighbors soon. Is that correct?
Well, a couple of years. There's a lot of development that needs to happen. The developer that's developing that area, Just kind of needs to get his act together. There's like,
Aaron, are you the developer?
Whoa. That
Aaron,
was
are you the
just
developer?
a shot over my bow right there.
You're welcome, Deb.
So you and Steve will be neighbors.
Yeah.
Tell us about the project you're working on.
Oh, which one? I've got so many.
Well, tell us the project you're working on with the homes, as much detail or as little detail as you want to provide to us about the neighborhood you're building, your exclusive neighborhood.
Yeah. Well, it is so exclusive. There will only be 7 homes built there. And
how many acres is it approximately?
It's 270,000.
It's 48.5 acres.
Got it.
And so every home will be on at least 5 acres.
Beautiful
And
view.
Amazing. Some of the best views anywhere in the state.
Did you talk to my wife about well water?
I did. Yeah.
And what did you guys talk about?
Just that, sometimes people are afraid of it, and usually it's just because they don't understand that all water comes from underground somewhere, typically. So, or a body of water on top of the ground, but it's all just water. And so, you can dig a well and pull water out of the ground, and then if it's got stuff in it, you can filter it, just like they do at the city when they send you water through a pipe that you think of as city water. It's the same process, just done individually.
Yours will probably be
for a home.
cleaner, though, than the city water that
Did
you
you
get.
find a well-digging man that you like the best? Have you found a good one?
I've found a couple of them. I would say none of them are great. It's just one of those professions.
So far, I feel like we've been talking to Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah, that's pretty much who you talk to, and usually they sound like they got a bunch of stuff in their mouth when they're talking.
How deep a hole you want me to dig?
How big of a hole do you want?
Man, I'll tell you what, I can
dig a
go
big
70 feet in no time. But it's going to cost you.
That's pretty much everybody that answers the phone at any well drilling company.
Now, we use fancy augers that sound like this. They go.
It's like Roy D. Mercer's brother.
Pretty much.
That's how they sound. They sound. Okay, but I want to make sure we're getting this idea, and then we can wrap up today's show. There's 4 steps to achieving any goal. Very simple. 1, Aaron, we have to establish a goal and determine how much the goal costs.
Yeah.
I'm not asking how much the project costs, but did you kind of figure out in your mind what it would cost?
That was step 1. Yes.
Okay. Step 2, you got to figure out how much crap you have to sell to buy the stuff. Mm-hmm. And I'm not asking for the specific percentage, but when you sell a home at Shaw Homes, don't you make a commission?
Yeah.
And so you know how many homes you need to sell in order to buy buy the stuff you want.
Hey, I'm not saying that it's related, but I think it's sometime around the time that Aaron purchased that property, the sales from Shaw went up tremendously. They set a record in January, February, March, April, May, and June.
True.
When did you do that deal on that property? Was it
technically 30 months ago. So it's been a while. But sales have been on their way up for the last 4 years, actually, since I met Clay Clark.
So we've grown quite a bit at Shaw, from $24 million up to this year. Last year we ended the year at $80 million, and this year we're on pace to do
like 140.
Yeah, things are good. Yeah. So
Good
again,
Lord.
step 3 though, you have to establish a deadline for the achievement of the goal. So when's this project? When is the goal to be done? Some goals take longer, some are shorter. When you're doing a development, you have to wait upon the city, and there's a lot of things. But what do you think?
I'm going to send this to Deb too when it's
Is
done.
this like a 3-year plan
sure
or a 2-year
accurate.
plan?
Yeah,
What do you
I
think?
mean, basically going into it, I knew it was probably going to be 3 years. And
Got it.
I think we'll still make it under 3 years.
Now, step 4, you want to stop working hard in the wrong direction. Somebody out there is envious of Steve's ability to buy himself a $12,000 Rolex this week and a $2,600 steering wheel, but you needed it.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you don't need to be envious. You need to be curious about how you did it. And so, I mean, if somebody comes and works for shawhomes.com today, we have a lot of listeners in the Tulsa area. If they get a job today working for Shaw Homes and they implement their job, or they implement the systems, they follow the processes as a salesperson, how much money should they make over the next 12 months?
Well, I've got somebody who just started in August of last year who will probably make about $260,000 this year.
That's a real thing.
And I have another one who started in April of last year, and she will probably make $230,000 this year.
And if you spent the same amount of hours working at Atwood's, which I love, or Hobby Lobby, which I love, or Quick Trip, which I love, you would probably have the max capacity to earn about $45,000 to $50,000.
And if you made that at Shaw, they would fire you.
So I'm just saying it's not about how much time you spend doing the job. It's about how much value you add to the hour. It's about the profit you make per hour. And I'm telling you, folks, this is your life. This is your opportunity, but you've got to get serious about setting goals. And once you achieve your goals for taking care of your food and shelter and your basic needs are met, then you can team up with Steve Currington right now, and you two could go to the Rolex store and spend $12,000 on a Rolex that you need or $2,600 on a new steering wheel. But for those of you who want to stay in a job where you're not able to have success and you just want to give back to a foundation and to a cause you can feel good about, I encourage you to go to stevecurrington.com and apply for a mortgage of any size, because Steve's going to get about 1% of that money. And so if you were to borrow $260,000 to buy yourself a nice ranch house, Steve could buy. It chokes me up thinking about it. I mean, it's almost
It's like a GoFundMe
He can
for
only-
people
he
that don't need it.
he can only buy one Lamborghini steering wheel.
With your help, I might be able to buy 2 Lamborghinis.
Now, if you were to get yourself impossibly in debt,
Then I could have 2 different kinds of steering wheels.
and you were to borrow $1.2 million,
Then I could almost buy
Aaron,
the Rolex that I
you
want.
too could help Steve buy yet another fancy watch.
I know you're there. You're on your couch right now, and you're thinking, how can I help?
How can I give back?
How can I give back?
I want to help. Bill Gates.
Just go to stevecurrington.com.
Bill Gates gives back by donating money to himself.
Get a mortgage,
He
even
looks
if you
good.
don't need it.
Maybe if I give money to Steve, I'll also feel good about myself for being so.
It's so hard to stay
charitable.
in that character. Like, oh wait, hold on a minute.
Hey,
Sorry.
I just have a quick pop quiz here, real quick. A quick Bill and Melinda Gates pop quiz question for you, and then I'll be done here. Look at this crying, sad kid, this Beavis. What's he-
Crying alone, sad and emotional piano song
in the
instrumental.
world? Okay, but seriously,
Oh, there's tears dropping
wanna-
on the actual piano.
I want to ask you this, Aaron. Jeffrey Epstein is the most prolific pedophile in American history, and this guy, got arrested, ended up killing himself.
Yeah.
And
Or they say.
and Bill Gates is like his buddy. They traveled together. What does that say about Bill Gates if Bill Gates is hanging out with a known, convicted, super prolific pedophile? What does that say?
It doesn't say good things. You're making choices to hang out with the wrong people, that's for
And
sure.
Bill
And
Gates has a lot of money and a lot of choices. So
And usually when you're hanging out with people who are doing things like that,
Imagine that you were on Craigslist looking for a babysitter. And,
Wow.
and it says, profile, Bill Gates Foundation. Been known to spend long walks on the beach and massive amounts of time with a sex offender. Hire me to watch your kids. Would you hire Bill Gates to watch your kids if you knew that? Would you hire a babysitter to watch your kids if they spent a lot of their free time with a pedophile?
I definitely would not hire that person.
Whoa.
Would you let them recommend vaccines for your kids, Steve?
Whoa, no.
Would you trust anything that they said if they hang out with pedophiles often?
No, I would probably distance myself from him.
This message brought to you by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation.
Yeah, that would be the only time that I would probably practice social distancing.
Right.
Unbelievable. But
Unbelievable.
Steve, let me tell you about a better foundation than the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation.
All right.
It's stevecurrington.com.
True.
You're going to use that money to buy goods and services for yourself.
Okay,
And think
I'm
about
gonna
how that
plug
helps the economy.
St. Jude's is a little bit better, Steve. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
true. Well,
St.
we didn't
Shaw
give to St.
Homes-
Jude.
Listen, St. Jude's is a great charity that you guys have teamed up with at Shaw Homes, and that's great. And you're helping save kids.
Yeah.
But we're not talking about that. We're talking about saving
About
Steve here.
saving me for
We're
me to
talking-
buy more crap for
Listen,
my Lambo.
just so you know-
Aaron,
Hey,
you're so selfish.
Hey, on a side note, I
Yeah.
will let you know that stevecurrington.com was the largest donor to the St. Jude home that we built. So
Well, that kills the image
he
I'm trying to
actually
make.
did.
I'm trying to
He
make.
actually did make a
Listen,
huge
listen.
donation. Oh, snap.
We've got a couple here.
Don't
Martin,
kill my image
Martin
here,
and
buddy.
Jeanette, who are moving here from Ireland to America.
So we were talking in an
About
Irish
Amer-
accent.
And we were talking about
so, like,
American
that's good.
materialism, and I'm trying to sell them on the vision that all Steve cares about is buying Rolexes and steering wheels for his Lamborghini. And
Yeah,
you
it's
ruined the
bet-
whole thing by saying he actually gives back to causes that matter. So
It's better than me buying a massive amounts of Crown Royal, which is what I used to do before I did cars.
Yeah, true.
So way
help
better.
Steve buy Crown Royal.
Help
Getting
me
a
not
mortgage.
buy Crown Royal.
I'll help him not buy Crown Royal. Okay, we're going to end today's show with the boom, and now without any further ado, here we go. 3,